thank you to everybody who's tuning in to the New Channel Sports Podcast. Here's a soundbite from the show.
UFC has everything to gain by this. Everything. If he doesn't get knocked out, look, we can hang. If he does get knocked out, then more people are going to want to know what's up with these UFC fighters and maybe come up crossover. Boxing has nothing at all to gain from this. So I think Mayweather doing his own thing. I bet if it was up to boxing and the boxing promoters, they'd be like, don't do it. They have nothing to gain by it. Nothing. Even if Mayweather wins, he's going to go off and ride into the sunset. Alvarez isn't fighting a UFC fighter. Triple G's not going to fight a UFC fighter. Like, this is it. Like, these two guys, McGregor and Mayweather's ego is the reason this is happening right now.
You're tuned into the New Channel Sports Podcast, the ultimate sports talk podcast.
Welcome to the show. This is the New Channel Sports Podcast. We had a pretty good show in store for you guys today. We're going to be talking about this fight. It's going to happen August 26th. It's Floyd Mayweather going one-on-one with Connor McGregor. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What's good, y'all?
Trey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. Cowboy Nation in the house. What's up, Cowboy Nation?
Yeah, say it twice, man. But anyway, I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not excited about this fight. This fight for me, I'm a boxing guy. I'm not really big on MMA. The last MMA superstar that I was big on was, probably Rampage Jackson. The biggest MMA superstar that I can think of was probably, I can't remember his name right now, Chuck Liddell. That's for me was one of the biggest MMA superstars, at least men, because we all know who the women, Ronda Rousey, she was one of the biggest MMA superstars out there. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I know a lot about Connor McGregor. I don't. A couple of questions I want to ask you guys about this fight. One, is this fight good for boxing? Two, is this fight good for the MMA? And three, does Connor McGregor have any chance at winning this fight?
First of all, I think this fight is, comparing it to what's better for MMA or for boxing, I think it's definitely better for the MMA, and this is why. I think there are a lot of people who are kind of like you who really focus on the boxing because that's what you grew up with and won't really watch so many MMA fights. But when you have a fight with Mayweather, you're going to get those hardcore boxing fans who won't let go and go watch other combat sports. And when you have that, you have people open up their eyes to an MMA fighter, Connor McGregor. Now, what this does for boxing, I think it's a lose-lose situation, to be honest with you, because you have a Floyd Mayweather who is undoubtedly, pound for pound, the best fighter in his weight class for sure, and really best pound for pound, best fighter in the world as far as boxing is concerned. And you have him fighting Connor McGregor. Now, let's look at that. You have fighters like Canelo and Triple G out there who want fights with Floyd Mayweather, especially Canelo after he got beat, probably wants a rematch. And what happens is you have this fight with Connor McGregor. It's a slap into all those fighters' faces. Their hard work is basically all for naught because this is a big show. It's a spectacle.
Well, and I get that. I totally get that. But, I thought this was all about that dollar. In my mind, like I don't. There's absolutely no reason why this fight should be taking place. In my opinion, Conor McGregor, he's an athlete, he's a fighter, he's not going to quit. Until I saw the contract or saw the details of the contract, I was just imagining he was just going to just give Floyd a swift kick to the face. Once he was down 8 rounds to 0. But I see that there's a clause in the contract that said he faced a lawsuit. But there's no way whatsoever that a MMA fighter can stand toe-to-toe with a boxer and box. I don't believe that that's the case. However, the pundits in McGregor's corner are saying that he'll be able to hold his own, and he's a fighter, so he's not going to give up. I just don't see this being a very entertaining fight whatsoever. I think MMA and UFC have a lot more to win, kind of to Chris's point, because if he beats him, then they're always going to say there's always an argument right now. Who's better, an MMA fighter or boxer? Who would win in a fight? In a boxing match, Floyd Mayweather is going to kill him. But if you tried to get into a brawl, there's no question about who'd win that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, man, I have absolutely no interest in watching this fight. I'm more interested in Canelo versus Triple G. I think that takes place September 16th. That's the fight I'm going to be watching.
16.
Yeah, that's the fight I'm definitely excited about that fight. I don't think Conor McGregor has, he has a puncher's chance. I mean, I guess he has like a 1%, 2% chance to win the fight, but he basically has to knock Floyd Mayweather out. If he did eventually win, it would be, for me, in the sport of boxing, the biggest upset since Mike Tyson and Buster Douglas. And when that took place, the world stopped. The same thing would happen. If that took place to where McGregor can actually beat Floyd Mayweather, because he has to knock him out, the world will stop. Floyd will be 39-1. Not only will he be 39-1, he will be 39-1 to a MMA fighter.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Well, 49. It's going for 50.
Oh, I'm sorry. 49. Yeah, 49-1. I'm sorry. I've been saying 39-1, but you're right. It is 49-1. He'll be going for 50. And is Floyd done after this?
See, I think Floyd is never done when it comes to big paydays, right? Floyd is always in it to get the large amount of money, and to Trey's point, that's what this is about. It's a cash grab. So I don't think Floyd is done after this. And you have to look at the timing of this fight with the Canelo fight. It's no accident that they're fighting in August with a Canelo Triple G fight coming in September. If this fight being Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, he gets his $100 million, he wins the fight. Let's say he wins by knockout or goes to decision. I think he went by knockout. And the Canelo Triple G fight is a big time fight, and it's a good fight. You could see Floyd coming back in the ring fighting one of those two guys if it means $100 million. If it doesn't mean $100 million, you're not going to see Floyd Mayweather Jr. in the boxing ring.
He was smart, man. I mean, after his last fight, he guaranteed us this was it. He was done. He was not coming back. And you see, when that money talks and somebody talks to him enough, his pride is going to get in the way, and he's going to come back and fight. In my opinion, and I know sometimes this is a little controversial, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is probably the best boxer I've seen in my lifetime. And he's done it for a very, very long time. His record speaks for itself. And I'm a stat guy, but I've seen him just dominate people that were supposed to have a chance. And I would just hate to see him have a blemish on his record because he's trying to chase that money and not getting in the shape that he needs to be in to be able to fight and be at the level that Floyd Mayweather is used to. I lived in Vegas for a few years, so I got a chance to see a lot of it front and center, and saw that dude just out there training his butt off. And right now, I just think that this will be more of a distraction than anything. He's trying to get under De La Hoya's skin. Golden Boy knew,
right.
And
the
Golden
HBO thing
yeah,
too.
He knows exactly what he's doing. And so I hope that he doesn't let the money and the bickering back and forth between him and Golden Boy get in the way of him keeping that goose egg in the losers column for him, because I hope it stays that way.
Yeah. So if he does get this 50-0, is he the greatest boxer of all time?
I honestly think before him even taking this fight, I always considered him to be the best boxer of all time. And I'm just talking about pound for pound. So let's take Muhammad Ali, right?
Right.
He's generally known as the greatest boxer of all time. But when you watch his fights, I think Floyd Mayweather learned from that. It's not about eating punches. Because you look at Muhammad Ali after his career, everybody loved him, right? Everybody said, oh, he's a great guy. Look at those great fights. But at the end of the day, he got beat up. Floyd Mayweather Jr. thought to himself, well, I don't have to get beat up. I can win these fights, and I can make my money. So I see Floyd Mayweather as the best boxer, but I almost see him more as the best artist. He learned the craft the best. He understood exactly how not to get hit, how to get out of the way, which is why I'm a little excited to see McGregor, because the one knock on Mayweather throughout his entire career is maybe a southpaw might get him, and McGregor is a southpaw. If he lands that blow, if he gets those jabs in there, will Floyd Mayweather go down? That's kind of always the excitement with Floyd Mayweather. Him running around and having a boxer chase him. Can they catch him?
Yeah, I think that's what they're waiting on, and I think that's what they're banking on, because if McGregor can't do that, and no one else has been able to do that so far,
Right.
When McGregor puts on these boxing gloves and not those UFC gloves, then there's gonna be a difference in that. But if he can't catch Floyd slipping, I mean, who knows? But he's not gonna be able to get him to the ground. Jiu-jitsu is not gonna help him. You know, he's gonna seriously stand up there and fight toe to toe with this man, and we've not seen anybody do it successfully yet. So even Canelo thought he had a chance against him. Not happening.
Does Canelo have a better chance now? If, let's say, you know, Mayweather wins, Canelo wins, set up for the fight, does he have a better chance now as opposed to back then?
I think so. Now I think he would have a better chance against Floyd than he did before. I think he's learned, and I mean, and it's not like, to me, Floyd dominated that fight, but not to the point to where I don't think, you know, I never would ever want to see that fight again. I could see that again, but Canelo better worry about Triple G.
Oh yeah,
that's
most definitely. Like
Yeah.
I said, that's the fight that I want to see.
Yeah, if he can get through Triple G, then then we'll be all right. But until then, I mean, he's got a big task at hand with Triple G. So I think that'll probably be the fight of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally disagree. Canelo and Triple G, I think that's the fight people should be talking about. The Floyd Mayweather and McConnor thing is almost like a WWE thing to me. Like, it's just two popular people getting into the ring. And it's funny, at one point in time I thought that Floyd Mayweather's popularity and his pull would go down because of the quality of fights that he's had. But it doesn't seem that way. People are really interested in seeing this fight. They're going to pay for it, you know, however much it is for pay-per-view.
Are you going to pay for it?
No, absolutely not. I already know the outcome. Mayweather's going to beat him. He's going to destroy him.
But don't we like seeing that? Don't we like seeing when we know what the outcome is going to be? Don't we like seeing it just to validate it?
The only reason I watch this fight is because of the Mike Tyson, Buster Douglas factor. I didn't see that fight, and I wish I did. If McConnor knocks Floyd Mayweather out and you watch that fight, or you were in Vegas that night, you'll be talking about that for eons. People talk about Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson today, about what happened in that fight and the little nuances that happened in that fight. You know, he didn't count this, you know, things like that. That's the only reason I want to watch it. But if Mayweather's fighting style is not exciting enough for me either, even though I'm a boxing guy, I know what Mayweather's going to do. If he went out there and was like a knockout artist, then yeah, I'll probably want to watch the fight to see if he's going to knock him out in the first round. But that's not what he does. He's technical. He's defensive. I can't. That's just me. I wouldn't be promoting this fight at all.
Well, the thing with the Mayweather fights, people say, oh, they're boring. But when he faces a fighter who was bold enough to attack him, like a Zab Judah, during that Zab Judah fight, Zab Judah, another southpaw, the first 4 rounds went to Zab Judah. He was really coming at him. The reason why I really like that fight and comparing it to this McGregor fight is I can see McGregor taking a Zab Judah approach. I'm going to maul this guy. Now, how's that interesting for us, the viewer? Either he mauls him and catches him, or he tries to maul him and Mayweather makes him eat a punch. Because let's be real, to Trey's point earlier, a hit from a UFC fighter feels way different than a hit from an actual boxer.
Absolutely.
I think when he gets hit that first time, he's going to say, oh, wow, this is a boxer hitting me. So it wouldn't surprise me if McGregor went down in the first round.
I just want to see him kick Floyd. I just want to see it. I just want to see what happens. I just want to see him kick him right in the face. I don't want Floyd to get hurt, but I just want that. I think that's what, if Dana White should probably just say, you know what, we'll take it. We'll pay the money for it.
So that's why you're trying to watch the fight,
Yeah,
to see if he's going to kick it right out.
It's going to happen.
Oh gosh. Well, it's projected to be about $50 million that, you know, they will make collectively for that fight.
On
Is that
pay-per-view?
Right? Yeah, on pay-per-view. About $500 million. I'm sorry.
I believe it.
About $500 million.
Wow.
So I mean, you know, like I said, Mayweather's pull. What's the last exciting fight that Mayweather's had? I know the one that was most anticipated was the Pacquiao fight. Mm-hmm. And from talk, I thoroughly enjoyed that fight. I did personally when I watched it. You know, like I said, I'm a boxing guy. But when I talked to other people about that fight, they were like, this was boring. And it was because of the hype. You know, people were so hyped up to watch it. And then when they watched it, they're like, you know what, this is boring. Because I watched it with a group of people. And, you know, only the true boxing, you know, people really understood what was going on in that fight and they could enjoy it. But most people thought it was a boring fight.
I would say the last exciting Mayweather fight I saw was probably him versus Ricky Hatton when he went down to UK to fight him. That fight was really exciting because you had a young and up-and-coming fighter like a Ricky Hatton who had the knockout power, which is why I keep going to that. The excitement from this fight, they're both McGregor and Mayweather, they're both loud talkers, but Conor McGregor comes with that punch, that southpaw punch. Do I think he's going to land it? No. But if he does, we'll see. That's the whole thing with Floyd Mayweather. It's kind of the same thing with Roy Jones Jr. when he was really doing his in his prime. The question was, can you catch him? Does he have a chin? Maybe.
And when he got caught,
he was done.
Yeah, Antonio Tarver, when he finally caught him, and I think it definitely was a mental thing after that too.
Yeah, I agree.
I got caught, and now I got to look for it. He was never looking for it before.
Yeah,
and no one's even really come close to really staggering Mayweather either. And like you said earlier, it's different to get punched by a boxer as opposed to someone who's MMA. Even if he lands the punch, is it going to have an effect on him?
Well, that's the point. That's what we're all watching and getting ready to see. That's the excitement for it, right?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be all about. I mean, you go back to some of the best pay-per-view fights. I think Canelo Alvarez in recent memory's probably been the biggest draw. I mean, not the biggest draw, the most exciting fights out of all of them, to be quite honest with you. I mean, him and Chavez, I was expecting more. I was really expecting more, but, Chavez let us down. But, I mean, Alvarez and Amir Khan was another good fight. I think it kind of let us down a little bit dramatically. But with Floyd Mayweather, this guy, I mean, he's an instant draw no matter what he does.
And I'm really surprised about that. Because of his,
what are you surprised about?
What is it that draws people to want to watch him fight?
Man, no matter what sport you're talking about, everybody loves a villain. So I think he's like the Yankees, he's like the Cowboys, he's like the Lakers, now maybe the Warriors.
Right.
Either you love him or you hate him. So you watch it when you love him because you want to see him win, and then you watch it because you hate him and you just want to see him get knocked out. Right. So he's got the best of both worlds. He's got the best of both worlds when it comes to that. And people just want to see him either whoop somebody's butt or get put down. And I don't think we're going to see him get put down in this fight.
I just want to see a good fight. I mean, the reason I watched him in the past was because I thought I'm getting ready to see a good fight. I was one of those people that thought Pacquiao had a chance against Mayweather. I did. And afterwards, Pacquiao said there was something wrong with his shoulder or something, which, nothing was wrong with your shoulder, dude. But I would like to see that fight again. I do think that if Pacquiao got in a ring with Mayweather again, it might be a different story. But I at that time, too, I think I underestimated how good defensively that Floyd Mayweather is. That's why I just can't understand why you want to watch someone who's that good defensively fight against someone who's not a boxer.
But let's be real. Do we really want to see a good fight? I mean, a good fight. Mayweather fights excellent fight. If you're really a boxer, you're a student of the game, he fights an excellent boxing match.
A different word. An entertaining fight.
So you want to see a brawl?
That's entertaining, is it not?
Yeah. So
brawl's entertaining,
right? Okay. So you want to see Conor McGregor get up there because
You're not going to see a brawl with Floyd Mayweather
because he can get away.
Right. So, like I said, I want to see a good fight. Okay, I want to see someone challenge Floyd Mayweather. Now, the general public, they want to see an entertaining fight. Mm-hmm. So the general public, I don't even think they understand what they're getting themselves into. Because like I said, after the Pacquiao fight, most people were like, what was this? Is this the most anticipated fight that we were waiting for?
Yeah.
And I was like, it was pretty entertaining to me. But that's because, like I said, I'm a boxing guy. So anybody going into this fight, they have to be thinking, okay, like you said, they either love him or they hate him. People that hate him are watching the fight thinking, okay, McGregor, can you be the guy that knocks him out? If you knock him out, you're an MMA guy and you'll finally get what he deserves. But I just want to see a good fight, which I know I'm not going to see. So I'm not even going to waste my money to do that.
But I think we're waiting for like Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. Like when those fights back in the day, like those were entertaining boxing matches. Guys busted open, fighting each other, and barely. It was like Rocky almost.
Right.
We're not going to see that.
Ever?
We're not. I don't know ever, but it's not going to be with Floyd Mayweather.
Right.
Canelo Alvarez. I mean, I don't know that anybody. I don't know who's going to beat that. I mean, you take Floyd out of the mix. You've got Triple G. You've got Canelo Alvarez. The heavyweight division is pretty much obsolete. But who else do you have?
And
who else could really challenge these two? Three, I should say.
Yeah.
With Floyd.
I mean, back in the 80s, man, boxing was the most watched sport in America. You know, they show Mike Tyson fights on prime time, you know, and it was exciting back then, especially the heavyweight division. You know, if boxing wants to get back to what it was, they need a heavyweight fighter that can go in there and tear people's heads off. Not just that, they need somebody that can rival that other person as well. You know?
See, but I think that's where we get off track as, I guess, American fight fans, because you could argue overseas they're saying the heavyweight division is the prime division. You just had Klitschko, who lost to Joshua, the UK guy. So overseas they're going to say boxing in the heavyweight division is alive and well. But over here as Americans, I don't think we need the heavyweight division to be great. We just need another great American boxer. And the thing with Floyd Mayweather Jr., he's mastered the craft of not losing. I think that's kind of the biggest downfall of boxing was the idea of perfection. Because when you have the idea of perfection, you don't want to lose. So you're not going to be brawling in a fight. You're going to be more calculated. You watch an Andre Ward, the same thing. Very calculated fighter. He's not going to get in a brawl because he doesn't want to lose.
So you think Floyd Mayweather is bad for boxing?
To an extent, I think so. I mean, he is the villain, but at the same time, it took him a long time to fight Pacquiao, right? Why? Because I wouldn't say he was afraid of Pacquiao, but it was thinking about that record, perfection, because that's what everybody talks about. So the best way to do it is to avoid things, even avoid getting into brawls.
Yeah, I had a heated debate with someone about Floyd Mayweather and Pacquiao. I've always thought that he was afraid of him because of what you just said. If you go into a fight and you're undefeated and you don't want to fight that guy because you're afraid of a blemish on your record, you're afraid of him. Like, what else can it be?
Well, I don't know if it was fear. I think it's just more calculated. Everything you do has to be calculated at your time. The thing Floyd Mayweather always says when he's on TV, what does he say? You're either on the A side, you're on the B side. I'm on the A side. I'm with the money team. So everything he does is calculated. And if you don't recognize you're on the B side, he's not dealing with you.
So Pacquiao was on the B side at that time.
There's no doubt Pacquiao was on the B side.
He had to be. But, I mean, think about people like us doing these types of shows and stuff like that. We're so numbers driven, and we judge people by their success and their record, whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. That's what we judge people by. So Floyd Mayweather, if you want to be considered one of the best, you can't have 2 or 3 L's. You can't take that L. You've got to go and, I mean, maybe you never fought that person, maybe, but your record is intact, and I don't blame him. I mean, I thought he did a good job as a businessman to fight Pacquiao when he did, because I think he protected that goose egg and that losers column, and this should be a cake fight for him, and then he's still going to walk away, retire again, undefeated. So it's a win-win for him. And then when it goes down in the annals of the greatest boxer of all time, he's not going to have losses, and all the people you're going to compare him against will have losses. So I mean,
so you also think he's the greatest pound for pound boxer
that I've seen? Yeah, I mean, right. I think if he would have taken a few more fights, it would have been a lot easier to make that decision. But I mean, I've seen a lot, man. I've seen a lot. I've seen Sugar Ray Leonard. I've seen Mike Tyson fight, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, a lot of the heavyweights fight through my day, and I've never seen anybody. I've never seen him be able to. I mean, Floyd punches people with their guards up, and they don't even know they got punched. It reminds me of that scene in Rush Hour when Chris Tucker's like, "Which one of y'all kicked me?" Like, he has no idea who hit, and he's standing right there in front of you, man. Like, he's just, I don't know. I love the guy. I absolutely do, and I like cocky people too, so it kind of helps too.
Yeah, I'm not too big on cocky fighters, you know. And Tarver was cocky. I didn't like him either. Muhammad Ali, he was cocky, but he had a way about presenting his cockiness. It was entertaining to me. Floyd Mayweather is not entertaining to me personally. I don't know why that is, but he's just not entertaining.
See, I think I really find it interesting what you said with Muhammad Ali. I think the actual American athlete has changed. What I mean is, you had Muhammad Ali, who was loved by so many, but he didn't necessarily as far as the ring and his opponents, he didn't necessarily choose his opponents in that way. But you have a Floyd Mayweather, and the reason why people don't like him because he's in control of his career. And I think we've seen that not just in boxing, but also in other sports like the NBA, where these athletes have taken control of their careers. And not only are they taking control of their careers, they're making a lot more money doing it. So I think we're going to see a lot more people like a Floyd Mayweather who do things very calculated. And we as fight fans may not like it, but he has more money in his pocketbooks. Look at Oscar De La Hoya. He has his own promotions as well. These athletes are now taking control of their careers.
You think that continues? You think that eventually fans will get tired of that and they'll make less money, and so then they'll have to convert back to what the fans want?
You see, people always say that. Fans are saying, well, I'm not going to watch the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight, but how many pay-per-views does that get? 4.4, broke the record. Fans are going to come.
No, but the Pacquiao fight, people were going to watch that fight. No one said they were going to watch that fight. They waited forever. There were commercials about it before it actually came out with Pacquiao. I can't remember the commercial, what it was, but there were, the anticipation for that fight was very high, which this one I'm supposing it is too. I'm just not excited about it. But I'm hoping that there is a point to where the fans will get more of what they want. And I'm talking more so in boxing.
Yeah.
Because it is a one-on-one sport, and I love boxing. This is a good boxing fight, and I just don't see it anymore. I just don't.
I'm a fan. I mean, I am, but it's one of those things, man, that it's either, if I have it, it's great. But if not, I'm not going to trip over it, because it's just gotten so disappointing now to where some of these fights are just, I mean, I like watching Mayweather. I'm a fan of it, so I enjoy watching him fight. But some of these other ones, it's just, I don't know, man. It's missing some drama. It's missing, a lot for me. So the hype a lot of times has been bigger than some of the fights.
Right.
So, and I haven't really gotten into MMA the way I probably should have. And I watch it sometime, but my wife and kids think it's too gory, so we can't watch it. Right. I watch it at the house. But, it is what it is. Boxing is, I don't want to see it die, though. I really don't want to see it die.
I think boxing is on both ends of the spectrum. You can really be let down by a boxing match and be like, oh my God, why did I watch this? And then part of it is because you pay for it. I remember the only time in any sporting event where I actually stood up out of my seat and was in awe by what I watched. It was May 2nd when Antonio Tarver knocked out Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
I was in the bar, and I was like, everybody stood up actually, though. Everybody was like, what? They couldn't believe it. We all thought Roy Jones was going to win that fight. So I do think that the reaction in boxing is greater than any other sport.
I don't know, man. I had that moment in a bar too, but it wasn't during a boxing match.
Okay. Remember now. This is a clean show.
Yeah. It wasn't in a boxing match. But no, I agree with you. Point 4 was pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget where I was when point 4 happened. Like that was the same moment. You had the same look you had on your face when you were describing that. I had that same moment. But I think boxing matches, they're so, especially when you got a favorite boxer, right? If I watch my favorite football player, if they win or lose or tie, right, I get a chance to see them next week, right? For the next 15 weeks.
Right.
In a boxing match, you're not going to see them again for another 4 to 6 months.
Yeah.
And so for us, I think that's why it's kind of some of the letdown. So whether you lose, whether you don't fight that well, whether you win in a unanimous decision, you're still not going to see them for a couple months.
Right.
And so I think that's probably why the American fans, you got basketball games every other night, baseball games every day, football games every other week, and sometimes, twice in a week if you get them on a Thursday game. Boxing, man, like I think that's where it struggles. And UFC's got it. UFC, what are you on? UFC like 986 right now? I mean, I know it's not that many, but
it's a lot.
Yeah, but UFC's like 200.
That's kind of the thing that everybody keeps saying, oh, boxing is dying, but look at the UFC. First of all, it's newer.
Right.
Not combat sports and that martial arts and that sort of thing, but as far as UFC, that's newer. It's been, 20, 30 years? And then you have one guy, Dana White. And Dana White constructs all of these fights. But you guys have to understand that there will be a fighter, i.e. Connor McGregor, who comes and says, look here, Dana, I'm not going to take this fight. The thing with Connor's he loves fighting, so he's going to take any fight. But what happens when you get an MMA fighter similar to the skills that Connor McGregor has, but doesn't listen to Dana White and does his own thing? then it changes the game a little bit. People are so excited about the UFC. Say it's different. It's different. No, it's just it's young right now. It's in its infancy stage. Let it grow a little bit. Boxing's not dying, man. It's really
I hope not. I hope not. I don't want to see it die because I'm a very, very casual boxing fan. I'm not going to even fake it like I'm this huge boxing. I love listening to the analysts and I get excited for the fights. I just want to keep getting let down, man. That's all.
I feel the same way. I have caught myself watching UFC fights here and there. They are pretty exciting too, but it just for me it's not the same drama that boxing brings. Another thing with boxing or any individual sport, for me personally, it's like you're a little bit more attached to that person because it's that individual. Like Chris was saying about Floyd Mayweather, in this fight, it's almost like the Tiger Woods effect, right? Not a lot of people watched golf until Tiger Woods was there. Floyd Mayweather is the same way. But it's just, I'm so tired of seeing these subpar fights, man. I can't. I'm not excited about the fight at all. I mean, I couldn't care less about it.
Well, I think it's probably going to rival dollars-wise what we saw with Mayweather-Pacquiao. I think so because UFC has everything to gain by this. Everything.
Right.
If he doesn't get knocked out, look, we can hang. If he does get knocked out, then more people are going to want to know what's up with these UFC fighters and maybe come up crossover from boxing has nothing at all to gain from this. So I think Mayweather doing his own thing. I bet if it was up to boxing and the boxing promoters, they'd be like, don't do it. They have nothing to gain by it. Nothing. Even if Mayweather wins, he's going to go off and ride into the sunset. Alvarez isn't fighting no UFC fighter. Triple G's not going to fight a UFC fighter. Like, this is it. Like, these two guys, McGregor and Mayweather's ego is the reason this is happening right now. That's the only reason this is happening right now. And money. Right. But their ego, that's what their egos are centered around. And McGregor sees the biggest payout he will ever see in his life because UFC doesn't pay like that. And both of them, their egos got in the way. They started trash talking. Now this fight's going to happen. McGregor will probably never return to UFC because he won't have to financially. Mayweather won't return to boxing. And I don't think another boxer out there, a legitimate boxer, a Mayweather caliber boxer, is crazy enough to take a fight like this. Right. He has nothing to win.
Just so the listeners know, I really like that Texans jersey you're wearing right now, Trey.
This is not a Texans. This is Astros.
Oh, I'm sorry, Astros. I'm sorry. I thought you came here with a Texans jersey wearing old school Brock Osweiler. But anyway, I had to start talking about football because I just can't. The fight, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't understand it. The only reason we're sitting here talking about it is because I feel like we have to talk about it. And because I'm doing a podcast, that's a sports podcast, and so I have to talk about it. If I was listening to this podcast right now at the very beginning and we're talking about Floyd Mayweather and Connor McGregor, I would just be listening because I know that Any is a great sports talk personality that I can listen to. But besides that...
Can we get him the drug test now?
Look, man, like you said, everybody's watching it for a particular reason. If I did watch it, it was just to see if he has a puncher's chance. And I don't want to miss that moment.
Right.
That's the only thing I know.
No, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
But if you want to talk about football, there's a team that plays in Texas up I-45.
Really?
Mm-hmm. They're really good.
Really?
Yeah, they're really, really good, man. And, they've got 2 second-year players that are probably going to compete again. One of them will probably win Offensive Player of the Year.
Really?
Yeah. You know who I'm talking about?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
One wears number 21, one wears number 4. One plays running back, one plays quarterback.
Not ringing the bell at all.
No. One of them, the running back went to Ohio State. The quarterback went to Mississippi State. No, they had really good rookie years. No.
Not ringing the bell. I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, okay.
Well, guys, we discussed if it was bad for boxing, if it was bad for MMA. So basically, in conclusion, this is great for MMA. Either way it goes.
Yeah.
It's great for Connor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather's pocketbooks, and that's it.
And your DirecTV bill?
I'm not watching that. I'm not paying for that. There's no way.
Mark the tape. We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
Thanks for listening to the New Channel Sports Podcast. Leave comments. Please rate the podcast with 5 stars. And don't forget to subscribe. Check out the podcast daily for sports news and scores. Thursdays for the take of the week. And every Tuesday and Saturday for discussions on hot sports topics.